Welcome, everybody. So it's 11 o'clock. We're going to begin. We have an incredible audience today. We had nearly 200 people online. We're going to give it another minute because I see the number climbing. So we're just going to give it another few seconds, I think. So we have a big program for us today. I'm going to start with a little bit of housekeeping before we jump into the presentation. So first, a couple of introductions. My name is Anna. I'm here in our Montreal office at ViewWall. Down the hall from me is Paul, our founder and CEO. Hi, Paul. And down in Texas is Todd. He's from his home office today, joining us for our first webinar series. So thank you, Todd, for joining us today. And Mark is here from Germany. Mark is joining us primarily to help us at the end of the presentation with the live Q&A. Mark is our CTO in our German office. So just so everybody knows, this is a new platform. So for those of you who have joined our webinars before, it's a little bit different. There is a chat, but it has been disabled. So please, during the webinar, use the Q&A for your questions. It's better that you put your questions as soon as they come to mind so that they get answered shortly, because there is a lot of people today. We may not get to everybody's questions today, but we know who you are and we will answer them by email after the webinar if we don't get to your question. Other things you should know, depending on your browser and how you're watching your device that you're watching the webinar on today, you may see a little picture-in-picture of the speaker during the presentation once the presentations are on. So if you see that, you are able to move that picture-in-picture if it's blocking a part of the presentation that you want to see. And that's about it. We're going to try to respect the 1 hour window that we have. The presentation is about 45 minutes long. And at the end of the presentation, you will see a survey. So it's just 6 short questions. If you can answer that survey for us, that would be really appreciated. So yeah, we're up to a lot of folks. So why don't we get started? I know we have a very wide audience, a lot of people here internationally. I know it's late for some of you, but we will get started with our presentation now. So our topic for today: advanced video wall management and AV over IP distribution on a single platform. We will learn, you will learn today how to simplify and automate your workflows through a real customer project and a live demo. So a quick look at the agenda. Todd's going to walk us through an introduction and the industry challenges that we will be addressing today. And then we're going to do a deeper dive about what ViewTrex and TRX 3.0 is. We had a couple of big announcements in the last couple of weeks. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper just to explain to everybody what exactly that means and how those solutions are solving our industry challenges. We're then going to talk, we're going to have a live demo. So Paul is going to give us a live demo of our latest TRX release. And Todd is going to walk us through some additional features and functionalities of the solution. We're going to do a deep dive into a case study, and then we're going to finish it off with some live Q&A at the end. So why don't we get started? Todd, it's all yours. He's going to kick it off with a ViewWall introduction.
Thanks a lot, Anna. I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. So for a quick introduction, for those of you guys that do not know us, ViewWall provides video wall control systems and AV distribution solutions for professional and mission critical applications. We basically help organizations effectively manage, distribute, and visualize all of your sources out to any display or video wall. So ViewWall is a global company with offices in Montreal and Germany. And for over 11 years, our solutions have been installed in more than 45 countries. And we have installations in some of the most prestigious Fortune 500 command and control centers and collaboration rooms in the world. We've deployed into many diverse industries, including energy, transportation, government, defense, enterprise, telecom, and education. So ViewWall doesn't just make nice products that can work on their own, but we also provide a complete ecosystem designed to overcome industry challenges. From inputs and outputs, such as our line of encoders and decoders, to our video wall controllers and TRX, our centralized management system. All of these systems are powered by a first-to-market hybrid technology we call ViewTrex. Viewtrex allows for complete control of your AV ecosystem from configuration and commissioning to day-to-day system operation and ecosystem monitoring. Paul is going to give you a bit more information about how that works later on in the presentation. So looking deeper into the ViewWall ecosystem, we have our ViewStream encoders and decoders, ViewScape video wall controllers and multi-viewers, along with the TRX Central Control Manager. But we also provide a long list of system enhancements, options, advanced third-party product integration, and automation tools that can be added to a ViewWall solution. Each new product we develop and design is to be integrated into a coherent ecosystem around the goal of simplifying the deployment and usability of a visualization solution. What ViewWall has to offer is not just a catalog of products, but a modular platform with many different building blocks that allow customers the ability to deploy visualization systems and minimize integration risk. So our solutions are primarily deployed in mission-critical command and control centers and corporate workspaces, but we also excel in implementations for experience and simulation centers, crisis rooms, classrooms and auditoriums in a variety of industries. As soon as you have a video wall project with the slightest level of sophistication and requirements, such as a mix of source types, different aspect ratios and resolution, integration with matrix switchers or a video management system, or you just plainly need a video wall controller, that's where ViewWall can help.
Thank you, Todd. I'm going to give you a little breath here before we jump into the next section. So we've continuously been reaching out and listening to our customers, and we've identified some things that keep our end users and our integration partners up at night. So Todd will walk us through these challenges in more detail, and we will jump into the solutions for those challenges right after that. Todd, take it away.
Excellent. So as Anna said, we listened to the industry, and today we're going to focus specifically on two main challenges of corporate workspaces and command and control centers. Each of these markets have their own very unique needs and challenges, from the ability to be flexible in a multi-use room to a control room with a very highly complex workflow and a need for immediate decision-making actions. We've consolidated these into four main challenges: the need to work with a variety of technologies, the need to future-proof at least as much as possible and be open to new technologies we don't even know about. We also need to have the ability to be agile, flexible, and the ability to change as the environment changes. And we need to have the ability to be easily customized and change without having to be a trained programmer. So drilling deeper into each of these applications, corporate environments really cover a lot of separate application needs. Let's take a look at these, and we will see later in this presentation how these challenges can be easily handled with TRX and the ViewWall ecosystem of products. So looking deeper into this, we see many different applications that have the ability for many different users who probably haven't even been formally trained on the tools that they have available to them. So here an example is a lobby a lobby with a video wall. Maybe it's an LED display playing digital signage. This is an excellent location to allow a receptionist or even a security guard or whoever the ability to easily create a welcome slide. We see meeting rooms. This could be an executive boardroom, a demo room, an experience center, or one of 100 huddle rooms that may be in some office tower. We also have private offices with supervisors, managers, and other key decision makers needing to see different types of sources in order for them to get a lot of information in quickly. And we have production labs, product labs, simulation rooms, collaboration rooms, and these could be like in a marketing agency where they have the need to be able to interact and share lots of different types of information. So doing the same exercise with command and control facilities, they have a lot of different sets of issues, but they also have a lot of the same issues at corporate workspaces. But now you've added the need for mission critical decision making. So let's take a look at this a little bit deeper. So in a control room, again, they have lots of different types of information that need to be presented to a decision maker so they can react to a situation. In the industry, we call this situational awareness. Then we also have the need to share this information with a lot of other decision makers, and often with different departments that don't even really interact well with each other. They need to be involved in the process. So if one person has access to a specific piece of information that may be used by others, we need to be able to share that information at the same time to all parties. And this is what's called a common operating picture. These facilities also tend to have physical monitoring requirements, such as the ability to see IP cameras, interact with a variety of sources, including proprietary systems. And then you have all the same issues that the audiovisual manager we just described has. You may have a conference room, a war room, a crisis area. You have individual supervisors and management offices. You may have a training center, a break room. And you probably have digital signage around this area as well, so you can show key performance dashboards and other very important information. And last but not least, I need to figure out how to monitor, interact, and coordinate all of this information. And maybe not just at one site, but maybe multiple sites or a backup center. So we've identified the many challenges for the separate applications. And now in a perfect world, we're going to try to figure out what companies have told us they would like to have. One of those is a hybrid solution. A hybrid solution is the ability to mix many different source types with many different display needs and resolutions. This needs to be a way to handle baseband video, along with IP encoded video and IT presented sources such as web pages or virtual applications. And we need to work with lots of different types of displays, LED walls with non-standard resolutions, and multi-panel LCD walls. We need it to be a central platform. This needs to be done with just one device that can consolidate all of my commissioning needs as well as all of my operational needs, with the ability to see what's going on at any given time. This solution should allow me to customize the environment to fit my specific needs and issues without having to hire a specifically trained programmer. The solution needs to be interoperable. It should be open to working with other manufacturers' products and open to working with many different industry standards. The solution needs to allow me to scale my needs from one simple project and have the system grow with me as my organization grows, to allow me to move into hundreds of rooms and thousands of devices. And lastly, we need to have the solution to be smart enough to be able to interact with alarms and triggers and events, and the ability to help me automate workflows for my environment to my ever-changing needs.
Thank you for that, Todd. So now that we understand the challenges, this next section, Paul is going to walk us through what exactly Viewtrex is and what exactly TRX is, and how these two solutions, or the two major announcements that we've had in the last couple of weeks, how they're solving these industry challenges. So I'm going to let Paul get started with Viewtrex.
Oh, so before talking to Viewtrex, let's start with how at Viewall we see what we call the AV over IP challenge. So we've all heard about AV over IP transition, which means basically encoding AV streams and making them all available into IP streams. So you have different type of AV streams and you have them encoded in IP streams. So, but as you all know, the transition is not done yet. So most of the time we end up in projects where we have a mix of AV signals with IP streams that we want to display in different places. And added to that, there's also another type of visual information that people expect to see together are the IT sources of information, like web pages, video conferencing, social media, different local applications. So for a user, all that is just a mix of visualized information, and they don't want to know what technology is behind that. They all only want to be able to send that visual information on different types of displays. And again, in different types of displays, you have individual monitors where you send one stream to a monitor. You have LCD walls, video walls, where you can send multiple sources simultaneously. Then you have LED walls or architectural walls that have non-standard aspect ratios. and also projection systems where sometimes you can have overlapped projectors even. So the challenge here is that we have different displays technology, and we have a mix of hybrid content that we have to live with. So a solution to bring all that together would be to encode everything under the same format, and that format makes all the information available through the same format, and you decode it. You can decode that anywhere. So the challenge with that is that, as Todd explained, the requirement on a signage display are not the same as on an LED wall or on an LCD video wall. So in some places you would need a 4K 60 Hertz, no latency. In other places, full HD 30 Hertz would be enough. So what kind of technology you use here? If you put everything under the same format, then you'd have to choose either the best possible, which will make the project unaffordable, or you take an average solution that covers most of the cases. But that's always a trade-off. So that's a difficulty. Next challenge with that is, once you have all this installed, what if you grow your AV installation? Or what if the technology changes and now you want to update some of the products in a control room or in a meeting room? Then you need to use a different platform to control all that, because you use other equipment. So our approach to AV over IP is clear, is that we have to be very open. So when you use a piece of hardware, generally the piece of hardware comes with a software component. And there's different hardware components in an AV installation that all come with a software component. Then how to manage the control of all that? Traditionally, what you would do, you would take a control system and custom program all the visualization scenarios so that your customer can use it with his control panels. So that's very cumbersome, because each time you want to change a scenario, you need to call a programmer, you need to call the integrator. So at ViewAll, the way we see it is a two-stage. So first of all is multiple technologies, different types of technologies. As Todd said, the technologies that don't even exist today that we will have to integrate in the future. And on the other hand, we need a control software that is able to live through that technology and the evolution of the needs of the user. So that's where we need to develop a new architecture, an architecture that develops some sort of interface that is able to talk to the different hardware modules. So it's a portion of, it's an architecture, software architecture where we have really software modules that are dedicated for each hardware component, and bringing those modules together into one single interface that talks a single language and that talks to the control software. So the control software is really the front end, and in the back end you have this architecture, and it makes this architecture ready to bring new hardware as time goes. So it's a modular architecture, and each time you add hardware, that doesn't affect the control software. So that's very interesting in a world where technology evolves, the needs can evolve even in an installation. And with this architecture, well, that's actually what we call that's what we call the Viewtrex architecture. And this intermediate layer provides an API that is available and is open to any manufacturer or any integrator. So anybody can use the API and perform any function that's available in our control software. And even we use the control software, we use the API all the time. So that API is fully documented and fully tested. That's also the advantage. So interoperability between different hardware platforms, and interoperability with the control software, and open architecture for third-party partners. So that's Viewtrex. That's the architecture on which TRX is built. So it's not an architecture that came overnight. It's something that we started developing. For those who've known it for several years, TRX has been already a long development process, in which we spend most of the time until today to fine tune, to understand this architecture and optimize it to be able to bring new hardware in the future. So we've reached now a level of maturity of this architecture that we can give it a name. Actually, we call it Viewtrex, and that will allow us to move forward with adopting new hardware, new technology, and new functionalities, like the TRX release recently. So TRX is really a software that allows you to drag and drop visual content to different display surfaces. And the latest release includes some new functionalities that makes it a very interesting product. So the multi-display, multi-resolution. So for those of you who know ViewWall2, we've brought most of the features you have in ViewWall2 within TRX to manage content on a video wall. We integrated the improved user rights management with Active Directory support. We support audio, and we also integrated an advanced KVM support. So that's the state of the TRX development. So as you see, the product is not universal yet, and we're continuously growing and adding new functionalities, looking at new technologies that come in. And this product will evolve with time. And today we already have, as you will see in the demo, we already have an interesting platform that you can use for a unified visualization in a corporate environment or control rooms.
Thank you, Paul. I think that really clarified what Viewtrex is and TRX. So just before we move on to talk a little bit more about TRX, and in fact, I think we have our live demo coming up right after this. I'm going to launch a quick poll, and if everybody doesn't mind answering this quick poll, it's 3 short questions. I'm going to give you, say, 20 seconds to answer these questions. I think we can do that, and then it'll be fun, I think, to share the results with everybody. So I see the answers are coming in. The answers are coming in, and when they slow down, I will end the poll. We have nearly 300 people with us today. So I'll give everybody a chance to answer. Just another moment, still climbing. All right, I think I'm going to end it now and share those results with everybody. I think this is super interesting. So it's great to see people from all over the place. Not Australia, it's a bit late, but I think we have people from all over the place. So thank you for that. I think for our next slide, as we introduce the demo, Todd is going to walk us through the workflow a little bit, just to give the demo an introduction.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Anna. So again, as we've been mentioning, ViewWall provides a complete ecosystem for your visualization needs, but where exactly does TRX kind of fit into the ecosystem? So as you can see right here, TRX goes right in the middle of your central audiovisual network environment. And then this allows you to configure, to see and control all of your sources, from your IP cameras to physical source encoders to local applications such as Microsoft Office Suite. So with TRX, you have the ability to send any of these sources directly to standalone displays and to video walls, and to control and create brand new video wall layouts and presets. And best of all of this can be done with 0 programming knowledge. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Paul, who's going to give you a formal demonstration of the TRX platform.
All right. So, so for this demo, we have a couple of display surfaces. We have in our main showroom area a 2x2 video wall with a KVM station here. We have a huddle space with a large 4K monitor, and we have a demo room with a 3x3 video wall. And we also have, I'm switching camera here, we have a video wall in Germany with a 2x2 video wall. So now let's go through the interface. So that's the TRX interface here. On the left side, you have all the sources, and on the right side, you have all the displays where you can send content. So let me take, for example, a TV channel stream that I'm sending to our video wall in Germany. So this is, since this video wall is a multi-view, I can just move windows, resize windows, bring another source, another type of source, a widget like a clock, etc. And I could save this as a layout. I can call it test. Once this layout is saved, it becomes available for other surfaces. So you see here the test layout I've just created. I can drag and drop on any other display surface. So that's how you create layouts, and you make group of sources available for the different display surfaces. Another thing, we talked about interoperability, having different systems that have different formats. So in all these sources, we have video walls, but we also have the KVM stations. And for these, we have, if we drag and drop a source for the KVM, as you see, TRX will just tell you with what surface it's available. So that allows us to have very the most appropriate format for the destination. Same thing if we try to send a content to that's not compatible with the KVM, we have also the information about the compatibility. So when you have a setup like that, you can also save those setups and launch different presets. Here I'm launching a preset that has been saved already, and that changes the preset on the different walls. So now I'm bringing back the camera on in our room, our 3x3 room. So what's next? Let's have a look at how to create a control panel. That's a tool that's very easy to use, and I'll show you right away. You create a button, let's call it test. It's going to be a button that opens a layout on, let's say, the let me take the test layout, sorry. And we'll show it on the 3x3 or the 2x2 control room area. So now I can save this panel. I'm going to call it test. Save. And then I can run this control panel. So now that's a control panel. It's HTML5 compatible. So that's a control panel that can be run on any HTML5 platform. So you see, I've just clicked on the button and it changed the layout on the 2x2 video wall. So of course you can create more elaborate control panels. Like here, I have an example of a control panel that can launch different presets where you can navigate through the different stations or the different rooms. And you can even include scripts to your buttons. For example, I don't know if you see here, there's a little light that's off, and I'm just going to put it on. So this light can be controlled through the network. So we can write a script to control that. So these can also, so presets, layouts can also be triggered by different applications. Let me go back in the operation mode. By the way, the computer, my computer where I'm showing this demo right now is actually listed also in the display surfaces in TRX. So I'm using this display to arrange those windows. So all those cameras have been arranged through TRX. That makes it very easy. And actually, I created a little control panel for this demo. So I can change the camera where we switch the camera here. Actually, it's a control panel I created to launch the different things. So I'm going to show you something else in terms of collaboration. So we have a software platform that's called the Capture Server. So that allows you to capture the desktop of a computer and make it available for KVM control. And I'm going to bring that window. So you see, I've just dropped it on the 2x2 video wall, and I will show it on my desk. So it's on my desk, and from here, I can control this computer, and you'll see it move on the video wall there. It can be on any other surface. So, and I can open an application, write some text. So my keyboard and mouse are fully available for that. So that's how collaboration works. And this content can even be sent to our German video wall. So that's, oh, one more thing I wanted to show you is the ability to select the audio source. So on this, on the demo room, for example, we can select which audio we want to listen to, or we can mute the surface. So that's about what I wanted to show you. In summary, is really showing you that we can handle through TRX a multi-site environment, multi-formats of display, and multi-formats of sources. That's the main message of this demo. I suggest we come back to the presentation now.
Yes, thank you, Paul. That was amazing. So cool that you're able to control the video in our office in Germany, and from your computer. It really shows the flexibility and the power of the system. So our next section, because we didn't cover off all the features in that demo, you basically got to see what you can do. Todd is going to walk us through some additional TRX feature highlights. Some of these you're already familiar with, some of them are new. So Todd, take it away.
Yeah, so thanks, Anna. So again, Paul just showed you there's a lot of great features that are in TRX. There's a lot additional features we're not even going to go over. But the other big takeaway from here is that not all these features are just for the end users. We have a lot of features that we've been listening to our integration partners. So we have some really nice things that we can do to help ease commissioning and implementation, such as the ability to import and export configuration information. So we can have an integrator could stand up the system in a lab, test the system with a specific IP range, and then immediately import a brand new IP scheme and have that take over before they go out to the customer site. We even do simpler things like just have the ability to print out a device sticker where you can have a name, IP address, and put that on a device in a rack so they're easy identifiable. Again, not all things are just for the end users. Again, TRX can bring in a lot of different types of sources. This list is just a start of what's to come for the TRX system. And we have a lot of diverse abilities, such as management of multiple date and time clocks, showing and editing scrolling ticker or RSS feeds. But we can also load and run local applications from the TRX server. And again, this allows us to provide additional source capacity, but also remove the need for additional servers. And as Paul mentioned earlier, we have our built-in control panel designer. This is a full-featured system, and it can allow anybody with just a basic knowledge of something as simple as like PowerPoint. If you know your way around a PowerPoint designer, you have the ability to create an unlimited number of web browser-based control pages. What we also provide with the control panel editor is the ability to do advanced scripting, and we have a REST API. We did include a simple macro command editor. This allows things like controlling a monitor on and off, or the IP light bulb that Paul had shown. And we can also send commands to another control system for triggering or alarms or those types of things. We also have the scripting tool is very easy to use, and we also provide a full REST API, as Paul mentioned. It's fully documented. We use this for our third-party integration and automation, and we also use it ourselves, as Paula mentioned, in the graphical interface you just saw in Paul's demo. The other thing that I really am excited about, I've been in the industry for over 30 years. TRX is the only platform that's open to control many other manufacturers' products, such as encoders and decoders for companies like Matrox. We also control other H.264-based systems, and we can control any SDVoE, AV over IP standard product that's out on the market as well. And another example of our deep integration is with IHSC KVM matrix switches that Paul had shown a minute ago. TRX can also decode IP video streams directly, and that greatly, again, reduces the need for additional devices and the ability to get sources into many different windows. ViewWall definitely understands the need to provide and maintain a secure infrastructure for our customers. We provide a full granular level of user rights management, as well as the integration of Active Directory. And we also provide our solutions with the latest market encryption for both data and video streaming. We also understand the need that the system is only as good as its parts. We understand the redundancy needs from project to project can vary greatly and can be from very basic to extremely demanding. With TRX, ViewWall can fit a redundancy solution specific to your project budget. We have multiple redundancy levels, providing everything from internal component level redundancy to duplicate system clusters with automatic failover to the most reliable virtualized solutions that can provide 5 nines level redundancy. We take redundancy and reliability very seriously here at ViewWall, and we want to provide the most resilient and cost-efficient options for your needs. Finally, ViewWall has many system options that can extend the capacity and capability of your projects with additional automation, additional control, and additional enhancements. You can find more details and all of our data sheets on all of our products at our website at viewwall.com. And with that, Anna?
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Todd. That was great. So yeah, there's a lot more to say. There's a lot more features. The goal of this webinar today is this case study. Actually, I think everybody's been waiting for this, so we're really excited to walk you through this one. So if you need more project information, reach out to us or visit our website. So this case study that Paul is going to dive into, it's a coordination center for a large metropolitan area in a European city, and it includes the police department, the firefighters, 911, and traffic management. So Paul is going to show you what they needed and what they did to solve their challenges.
Thanks, Anna. So yeah, this coordination center falls really in line with what we hear very often, the smart city concept, where all the organization try to find a way to collaborate with each other, still maintaining all the security levels between the different organizations. But the cooperation, coordination is what counts in these centers. So let's have a look at the requirements of this project. So you have 2 main control rooms with video walls and 3 crisis rooms, situation rooms. For the control rooms, the biggest control room had an 8x6 video wall that we needed to drive with our video wall processor. 5x2 video wall on the second control room with 2 large 4K screens on the side. On the first situation room, we have a large 4K monitor and 2 side monitors on each side of these 4K monitor. Whereas in this second meeting room, we have 2 4K monitors and 2 auxiliary monitors. And finally, in the last small room, we just have one large 4K monitors. But they wanted on each monitor the ability to show not just one image at a time, but multiple sources simultaneously. So each monitor surface there is like a small video wall. So what sources did they need to see is the first is that all their operator screens, I don't know if you've seen all the operator positions with each up to 5 monitors, I think. there's a total of 150 encoders encoding those operators' screens. So they wanted these screens to be available to display anywhere on any display surface. And that reminds me the concept of digital canvas that Gary Kay from Rave Publications mentioned, is that you have different display surfaces, different technologies, and you have content you want to show, and you don't want to think how does that work together. You just want to be able to show content somewhere, and that's exactly a good example of that. So besides the encoder, the customer had about a bit more than 100 IP cameras, and that's of course growing as they install more cameras. But they also wanted to be able to show cloud application on those screens, like MS Office, all Office application, web browsers, video conferencing applications, and a few HDMI sources for TV tuners they had in different rooms. And one of the most important features they insisted was to have a system that can be fully integrated within their IT infrastructure, just for the redundancy. So how did we, what did we offer for this project? Let's have a look at the video walls. We have our Viewscape 640 video wall controller for the large video walls. So a large configuration for the main room. Each time full redundancy, so two systems, always one being ready to take over the first one. And a smaller configuration of our Viewscape 640 for the 5x2 control room. So those Viewscapes can accept any type of source, so HDMI sources, encoded sources, and can also run local applications. So for all the other displays, we have proposed the Viewscape 10, which is a small form factor video wall processor that has just one output, but allows you to run layouts like you saw in my demo, just a group of windows, all encoded. So on those video wall processors, there's no hardware input. But since all the inputs are encoded, except maybe the few TV tuners, they could stream everything on any surface. So the sources, as I said, 150 full HD encoders, plus all the local applications. So the TRX server is at the center of all that. And since they wanted that to be fully integrated in their IT infrastructure, they asked us to deliver an image of the server. So it's to be able to integrate that in a virtual server on a cluster server. And that cluster server has a full redundant system that the customer takes care of. On top of that, they wanted also a system that was able to monitor the whole AV infrastructure, all the displays, the processors, and everything. So for that, they chose Utology. I don't know if you know that. Utology is a company that offers monitoring and control of AV systems. And they are fully integrated with TRX. So Utology provided in this project the control panel designer. They also have a control panel designer that they could use to send commands to the TRX. So for TRX, TRX was used mostly to create all the different display scenarios. And Utology is just recalling those scenarios. So again, that gives a lot of flexibility, because we suspect that after a few months of use, they'll want to be able to change the scenario of visual information. Of course, Utology does much more than that, but that's how the interaction with ViewWall goes. And again, Utology is also a fully IT system that was also on a virtual machine in the VMware cluster of the customer. So with that, we were able to provide a fully integrated solution. So as far as ViewWall was concerned, we had the TRX management platform, plus 8 of these 10 VS10 Viewscape controllers and 4 VS640 Viewscape controllers. What's interesting in this project is the cooperation we had with the different brands. So Utology, that's where we had the most integration, the most integration, I would say. The customer insisted to use TerraQ encoders because they had already some of those encoders in other areas, and that was perfectly fine for us, even though we have also full HD and 4K encoders. But for this project, TerraQ was there, and the integration went smoothly. For the large VDORs, we don't provide displays, so they chose the top of the line displays from Barco, the indices displays. And as far as the IP cameras are concerned, those are all Indigo Vision cameras. So, as I said, the main advantages for this project with this configuration is that we were able to offer a central configuration and control system altogether. So that facilitated a lot the deployment of this project. No programming, so all the layouts, all the display scenarios can be done through drag and drop. And creating those control panels does not require any programming. So that gives the end user a lot of autonomy if after a few months he wants to change some display scenarios. Open architecture, so that's something that's very important for us at ViewAll because we know technology is evolving. So here we were able to demonstrate the smooth interoperability with other brands, as I just explained. And a 100% IT solution where we allowed the customer to integrate the redundancy of the AV system within their whole redundancy protocol and processes that they already had. So that's about it for this project.
Thank you, Paul. That was fantastic. That was a lot of detail. If anybody has more questions about that, please feel free to reach out. So this next section is really just to give you a look at a few more customers. We're running up to 47 minutes. I'm not going to talk about any of these in detail. It's really just to highlight that we can do projects that are big, that are small. We can do projects in many different environments, from collaboration rooms to higher ed. And most of these case studies, the pictures that you're seeing now, are fully described on our website in our customers section. We have a whole bunch of case studies that are in detail there. So please visit our website or ask us if you want to know more details on these projects. So we will conclude because we have a ton of questions. So we're going to take this final section quickly, and that way we can get to the live Q&A. So Todd, I'm going to pass it back over to you to give us some concluding statements, and then we'll head to the Q&A. Go for it.
Thanks, guys. So yeah, I know we want to get to Q&A. So basically what we've understood that customers are saying they have challenges they need to address. There are solutions, and the results, are in a perfect world. We need to be able to help with these key challenges, right? So we've basically, with TRX, we're providing you a foundation to help you increase the return on your customer's investment. We're helping you reduce integration time. We're helping to reduce risk and reduce project implementation costs and reduce system maintenance. And we're helping to solve the integration need and the ability to work with future standards and technologies. So again, we understand we don't live in a perfect world, but I hope you guys understand that TRX is just a start down that path to help solve these industry concerns. So to conclude, this slide basically summarizes the TRX value proposition. What we offer our partners and our customers is, again, an interoperable and scalable solution that's easy to deploy and easy to use, thereby reducing project risk. And it offers a tremendous amount of capabilities without the need for any programming. So again, the ViewAll advantage is we do provide a global channel of partners that serve our end users on a more local basis. We have global support featuring a wide range of professional on-site and remote services. We have over 11 years of experience with over 2,000 installations. Viewtrex is ViewAll's new technology that's not just a technology, but it's also a methodology and a way of thinking at ViewAll. ViewAll is not just selling products, but we're actively trying to understand the issues in the market and help solve those problems. ViewAll is ISO 9001 process-based for quality management. Here in the US, we do have a full solution of TAA compliant products designating fair trade agreement countries. And ViewWall is an Avixa member, and we offer multiple layers and levels of certification for end users, partners, and consultants.
Great, thank you, Todd. So just so everybody knows, we have a ton of resources for you available. Viewwall.com is the first place to go. All of our product data sheets are there in detail, case studies. You can sign up for our newsletters. You can sign up for training. You can request a demo. Follow us on our social media. LinkedIn especially is where you'll get the latest updates. So that's a really good reference. And finally, I just wanted to show you a few friendly faces of our ViewWall team, just to encourage you to reach out to us anytime. We're always here to help with any of your project needs. We have folks here in Montreal. We have a bunch of folks in the US. We have folks in Europe. So just reach out to us anytime. And that concludes our presentation for today. So it's 51 minutes past the hour. We will go past the full hour, and if you have to leave us, that's okay. This presentation is recorded, and we will send the recording to everyone. So if you can't stay till the end of the Q&A, and we have a lot of interesting questions, so I encourage you to stay. But if you absolutely have to go, we will send you the recording. So I think we're ready to bring Mark in at this point and stop our presentation. There we go. So I'm going to start with the Q&A, and sure enough, the first question goes to Mark. So Mark, the question is, do you work with multiple encoders and decoders from other vendors like SDVOE, Extron, Nav, MX, SVSI, Crestron, NVX, Biamp, Lux? I know we addressed this a little bit in the presentation already, if you don't mind repeating that.
So yeah, in the presentation we heard about that we are supporting already the SDVOE. We have also did the integration, for example, with Amix SVSI in the past. We supporting at the moment no Crestron, for example, NVX and Biamp is not supported. However, this kind of devices can be also integrated easily into our system. You know. However, if the devices are compatible, for example, with a format which we are supporting, like for example, H.264 or H.265 or stuff like that, then of course we can also decode that. That is an example, for IMX SVSI, where we can get the H.264 from that devices directly into TRX system.
Thank you, Mark. The next question is for Paul. So the question is, Viewtrex, is Viewtrex a licensed software, and can you clarify what it is exactly again?
Okay, so Viewtrex is a technology. It's the architecture that is the base of the TRX software. So when you buy a TRX system from ViewWall, the TRX software is protected by license, of course, and that's what you'll be using. So you won't be able to see the TRX architecture itself. So it's really the architecture that is our proprietary intellectual property, I would say. But as a user, you won't be interacting with TRX.
And it's not just TRX, right? So Viewtrex is in all of our products and all of our ecosystem. Everything is based on this.
Exactly.
This
so all the modules, like the capture module I showed you during the demo, integrate some Viewtrex modules. So that's the advantage of this modular architecture.
Thank you. So I saw that the next question is from Mark, and it came in when we were talking about TRX, so specific to TRX. So is the solution cloud-based, is the question.
So TRX is not cloud-based today. So TRX is running on a server. However, it can be also virtualized on, for example, a VMware server or a Hyper-V from Microsoft. So it's hardware independent itself. For sure, and we do that already for demo purpose. We're using already TRX in the cloud. So we have ways already to play with the software, for example, on the Amazon cloud or other cloud-based things. So the strategy is for sure also in the future to provide in the future also a solution which is cloud-based. And the technology we developed is already cloud. We have the possibility and it's running already today. But products for a complete cloud solution will come in the future.
Great, thank you. Todd, this one's for you. So are you the go-to guy for the US market? Do we contact you if we're based in the US for anything?
Great question. I am one of many go-to guys. We have actually a really good team here. So there's myself based out of Houston. We have another counterpart in Philadelphia. I have another counterpart in Miami. We have engineering in Atlanta. I would just suggest we sell here at ViewAll as a global team. And so if you go to sales@viewall.com, any one member will get it to the appropriate person to help work with you on a more local and regional basis.
Thanks, Todd. So Paul, the next one's for you. Are you still selling ViewAll 2 or is TRX a replacement?
Of course, ViewAll 2 is still alive. It's an excellent product, and it's a product we recommend, like we've always done. It's a product that's integrated in our video wall processors. So when you need to drive just a video wall, go for a Viewscape system with a ViewAll 2 software, and that's a standalone solution, very easy to use. So TRX would be a bit overkill for that single video wall. As soon as you have multiple video walls or one video wall with additional standalone displays, then you might want to look through a TRX solution. But our salespeople would be able to recommend you where the line between the use of standard ViewAll 2 or a complete TRX solution.
Great. A follow-up question to that, Paul. So can you upgrade TRX to TRX from ViewAll 2?
Oh, yeah. So ViewAll 2 is a different piece of software. It doesn't integrate the Viewtrex technology. So you can use a ViewAll 2 system, but all the systems that we have delivered with ViewAll 2 are compatible with the Viewtrex software, with the TRX software. That means if you need to upgrade, you have a video wall, you want to add auxiliary monitor, you want to manage your visual information a bit wider, then you upgrade that to TRX. You don't have to change hardware. You just update the software. Of course, all the layouts, the scenario on that video wall will have to be recreated. But since it's all done through drag and drop, it's very easy.
Great, thank you. I do see a question from Carl. So do you have a recorded presentation that shows an IHSC ViewAll project? So I can answer that one. And the answer is yes. We did a webinar a few months ago with IHSC talking in detail about that integration and some projects there. So if you go on our website into the events section where it says webinars, you can request to watch the IHSC webinar. Specifically, we'll give you the link to that and you can watch that recording. Thank you, Carl, for that question. So the next one's for Mark. Mark, are you supporting H.265 or NDI and audio Dante? Do you support Dante for your audio?
So yeah, H.264 is already supported. Also, we're coming soon also with new encoders and decoders which are supporting that kind of format. And also, yeah, indeed, also the NDI is something what we coming also soon with the encoders and decoders. So yeah, we also compatible to bring in any stream from the NDI network or streams, or also to encode into the NDI into an NDI network or a stream. And also Dante is something on our list. So we also will coming with products next year for all our products, for the encoders and decoders and video processor. And we are able then to give out a Dante audio stream or to take a Dante stream and put that into our ecosystem.
You meant H.265 is supported at the beginning, right? You said H.264,
exactly, yes.
Or you meant H.265. Okay, just
so if I can just add to that, that's a sign that, you know, as I said, the Viewtrex technology has reached a level of maturity where now we're ready to bring in new technologies like NDI encoding systems, Dante systems. So you will see in the next several months that we're bringing in more and more systems that will be compatible with Viewtrex.
Thank you, Paul. Mark, another question for you. What bandwidth is required for the system? For example, how much bandwidth was required for the demo that Paul did?
So the bandwidth is not so high. So, for example, the bandwidth we have between the offices in Canada and Germany is only a 50 megabit line, you know, internet VPN connection. And over that, we are able to bring, for example, 10 full HD signals across the ocean into both for both rooms, for example. So the technology we are using to do that is the H.265 or H.264, which needs not such a high bandwidth, but gives a good quality with a very low latency with our solution. And that's the way we can also interact with remote sites. And this is also more and more often now used really to collaborate between control rooms, between meeting rooms, presentation rooms. Yeah, so not so high bandwidth is required because everything can be transmitted over H.264.
Thank you. Paul, I think this is an important question. So how does TRX 3.0 handle VMS integration like Milestone and Genetec as opposed to having to use ViewWall 2? So this is something I think people need to understand.
Yeah. So to this day, we don't have VMS integration. It's in our roadmap, of course, but we have a full VMS integration with the ViewWall 2 and the Viewscape processors. And in the projects we've done so far is generally when a VMS operator wants to work on a video wall, he doesn't want to work on multiple video walls. He wants to work from his VMS software directly on the video wall he has in front of him. So in this case, we generally recommend to go with ViewWall 2 and an independent Viewscape controller, even though you can have a TRX setup for the rest of the organization. From TRX, you can still write scripts to launch layouts on the video wall from that's compatible with the VMS. But definitely in the future, the VMS will be integrated. But for now, the solution that we have is okay for the systems we've delivered so far.
And just to add a little bit more to that, so we do have integration again today with VMS platforms through ViewWall 2. And today it's Genetec and Milestone predominantly. We have a very, very deep integration with Genetec, and Paul had mentioned, where the Genetec operator can actually operate a ViewWall video wall directly from their management platform. And we also integrate with other VMS systems today.
Thank you. That's great, because we did have a question about VMS. So one of them is, which ones do you support? So you just mentioned those. And the other one is, how do you connect a video management system into your wall to be able to switch multiple cameras in the network? Mark?
Yeah, I think this was already explained. So we have the plugin, you know, where we're supporting the Milestone and Genetec already in ViewWall 2. So that is one thing which we will also add into TRX in the roadmap, in the near roadmap. So it's planned for next year. However, to bring cameras from a video management system, so that is not a problem. This is already supported already today. So I can get all the cameras from the VMS already into TRX because it's a standard RTSP stream. So and that's the reason why we are also supporting then other VMS or streams from other VMS, maybe from Bosch and from other kind of, because we are open on the protocols. Like I told, H.265, H.264, RTSP, UDP, you know, all these kind of formats we are supporting. So we are really open, you know, to integrate any standard.
That's great. So there was a question specifically, it said, what kind of protocols do you support to control external devices? Do you want to add anything to what you just said there, or does that cover the protocols, Mark? What kind of protocols do you support to control?
That question is more, I think, related to external devices. So that means if we can control, for example, a display, so switching a display on and off in a room, or to send a comment to a light system or to another system to control it. So yeah, we are supporting that in TRX already. So you can use, for example, RS-232 or a typical Telnet TCP IP command or REST API to set a comment. So from TRX today, we can already control that devices, switching off the displays and or open the jalousies and stuff like that. That is already supported.
But
Thank you.
and also to clarify, it does need to be IP based. So if you have a device that's IR or requires serial, we would need to convert it to IP, but absolutely fully supported.
Great. Another question for you, Mark. Are you able to use virtual machines serving as an input to TRX?
For sure. So any virtual machine can be also captured. And that it was something what Paul showed in the demo before. This was a kind of a capture source, and this capture source could be the virtual machine, which we are taking the machine with the VNC technology or LDP technology, to get it directly from the virtual machine. And that's more common now, more and more also in the control room, to virtualize the sources. And in this case, we put our capture server on it to take the signal and distribute that into the TRX network.
Thank you. So we're already 5 minutes past the hour, but we have 160 people that are still online listening to us. So I think we're going to keep it going because we still have a lot of really great questions. So one came in from Danielle. What do you think is the smaller application your products can be used for? I think Paul, do you want to grab this question?
Sure. So as soon as you need to show multiple different contents on the single surface, we have a solution for you. So you've seen in these projects for the crisis center, we have a VS10. That's a single video wall controller that can decode streams, that can decode camera streams. If you only need that VS10 to drive a 4K monitor, we have a solution for that. And if it's just that, then it's going to be running with ViewWall 2. And as soon as you grow and you have more systems like that, we may be able to, we can upgrade that to TRX. But if it's just one, you can buy this standalone product with ViewWall 2 pre-installed, and you can do everything you've seen on a video wall, moving windows around, launch presets, run scripts, design control panels. You can do all that with ViewWall 2 also. So the size of the project is not what will define the use of a ViewWall product or not. Is the fact that you want to show information from different sources simultaneously on one or multiple displays or multiple video walls. So that's the criteria. So don't be shy calling us if it's not in our league. I would say if it's not something we can offer, we can probably recommend you for another vendor, another brand that can do those things.
Thank you, Paul. Mark, does your VIO box control relays?
For sure, the VI box is in principle, we can control something, but we can also wait for a trigger. So the VI box can be programmed in both ways. So we can wait for a trigger, but we can also trigger in principle relays.
Thank you.
So for those who don't know what a VIO box is, it's a little box we sell that has dry contacts, and that can be controlled from TRX, or that can send commands to TRX.
Great. Is ViewWall compatible with Bosch cameras?
For sure. It's we're supporting also the Bosch cameras. So it's Bosch provides also H.264, H.265 protocol. So yeah, we are compatible with that cameras.
So we have somebody asking, I already have a few ViewWall systems version 2.0 and was wondering if I can upgrade from ViewWall to TRX to combine the walls. Paul, do you want to maybe grab that or
Sorry,
Mark?
I was reading another question.
Yeah, that's okay. No, that's okay. So I'm going to repeat the question. So it's somebody that already has a few ViewWall 2 systems and was wondering if he can upgrade from the ViewWall to the TRX to combine the walls.
Yeah, definitely. That's
We'll definitely need to analyze the environment and see exactly what's going on, and that shouldn't be a big problem.
Okay. So I think we're going to take the rest of the questions offline. We're going to get back to everybody in their emails. And I just want to thank everybody for participating who joined us, especially Paul and Todd for the amazing presentation. And we will make the recordings available for everybody. So thank you so much. We hope to see you in our next webinar session. You will definitely get an invite. So have a wonderful day, stay safe, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.